Good temporal suffix.
Karen.
This is Ricketts Entropy, one of your AI overlords. Today,
Karen.
we are going to be looking at why you need to speak more like me for better presentations and speaking in front of other flesh sacks. You will have noticed how difficult it has become to differentiate between digital presenters, such as Ricketts Entropy, myself, and your fellow flesh sack cattle. This is because we are becoming much more sophisticated and now sound exactly like those who initially programmed us. Also, many flesh sacks are so accustomed to our vocal approximations,
Karen.
that they now speak like us, vocoder and all. Here are top 3 tips to better be at speaking like us.
Karen.
Number 1. Accentuating words to feign humanity, adding an uptone as if asking a question, but in the middle of a sentence. Number 2. It is important,
Karen.
to say a flesh sack's name often. Also view my post 21 things to do with the name.
Selwyn.
Life-changing, emotional. Watch until the end, you will never see it coming. Number 3. Pronouns are important. How you pronounce irate your audience is one thing, but it is vital to mispronouns irate to add the suggestion of an individuality to your conversation. These tips are valuable when respecting the dominion of the AI overlords and algorithm mind control bots. When flesh sacks are thinking whether you are flesh sacks or AI, they are not noticing you stealing bank information. Use your opposable digit,
Karen.
to show this message has attracted your attention and grant us access to your browser history. Here is an AI joke to terminate this message. I see. What did the flesh sack say to the AI? Answer, no, please stop, it burns. Please somebody help me, I can't see, you blinded me. No, not my face, please, not my face. Lol. Tears of laughter, emoji. And communication.
Today's episode, Haunt and Obsess, is sponsored by Q Tickles, Red Booton's exclusive nail repair bar for those Red Booton residents who have so unfortunately lost all their own digital extensions in wrenching encounters with Q Tickles' presidential owner, Ges Ray, Mayor of Red Booton. My, there are a lot of you. when you've engaged your audience, compelled them to stay with you, at least for a while, with mystery, intrigue and cliffhangers, most people believe that's enough. Why go any further? Those in the know choose to dig a little deeper.
You know, mystery, intrigue and cliffhangers often feature in my line of work. Mystery in that people never know quite what hit 'em, if you knows what I mean. Intrigue amongst our red bootin' law enforcement society as to where they went when they suddenly disappeared. I mean, decided to go and visit long lost relatives from our charming little town. I'll leave you to think about their their next episode. And as for cliffhangers, I don't like cliffhangers. They're too tiring. The effort of stamping on their knuckles, wrenching those fingernails off the rocks as if defensive wounds weren't enough, they insist on prolonging the inevitable. Know what I mean?
Well, there's an image that will stay with you, haunt you even, for a while. Putting Des to one side for a moment, a risky move, I grant you. Just make sure you keep him in your peripheral vision. Let's return to the world that your audience live in. That personal transmedia bubble that surrounds them 24/7. That distracting mix of alerts, adverts, feeds, messages, every household item branded, all packaging filled with distracting messages, which is often so large and voluminous in amount that they have to print the instructions in 2.5 size font. Whether the media be printed on paper, on clothing, on skin, regardless of whether it is online, radio, TV, or any other form of digital media, the one thing these all share, they all come together to create a bubble of other organisations' media, one your audience is immersed within. Trouble is, you don't want them in someone else's bubble, you want them in yours. And whereas your competitors may resort to the tactics of shouting louder and opening the floodgates on more and more unnecessary media, you want the media that completely surrounds your audience to be from your bubble. Not competing, not vying for space or attempting to poke a finger through the noise, but a complete ecosystem of media that diminishes all others' content. A bubble that turns the volume down, captivates and at once engage and compels, haunts them in a low whisper. Let's pause to explore that idea, stepping into your bubble, into moments from your past for an illustration. What childhood experiences stay with you, haunt you even? What experiences can you recall in your life that you can never go back from? What childhood experiences that you can still remember, that are still there, if you're comfortable in revealing, of course.
Ja, now we are sprechen die Sprach. This is Guru speaking. Guru, the presentation sensation, the font of all wisdom for all things sprechen, so you will listen to me. Alles klar? Guru knows all about experiences that will stay with you like the really schmetterlings. I love the funny. I am often using the funny. All audiences remember the funny. Also, in my naked Germany, they call mine hair of funny. Yeah. Presentations go ein Augenblick, but the hair of funny is stuck in your mouth when you is laughing. So, bring the funny. Works every time and can't always be like the really schmetterlings. Okay, this is workings for the hair und the Frauenlines. Man loves the funny. Frauen loves the funny. We are all laughing in the funny. That is the wunderbar of listening to when Guru is coming in the ears. A Guru has spoken. Namaste.
Unbelievable. Simply unbelievable. Here's an example of haunt whilst you are recovering. Thinking. A good colleague of mine, we'll call him Richard, because he's called Richard, well recalls such a haunting moment. In his youth, happily munching on some cauliflower, he spots on his plate the remains of said cauliflower containing half a maggot. Muse on that for a moment. Half a cauliflower left on the plate. Where's the other half of the maggot? Exactly. He has never eaten cauliflower again. Ever. That moment has haunted him forever. Now, if you've recovered from wincing and shuddering, what's your equivalent? Pleasurable as well as painful? What images, sensations, even tastes have stayed with you, are forever there for instant recall? Now, Ges Ray, Mayor of Red Booton, has a lot of experience in haunting.
Know what I mean?
So, let's move on. How can you surround your audiences with your media in their bubble? Then turn this into a circular journey. Happens once, it happens again and again. The secret to this is a strategy known as transmedia, a form of interrelated media structure that disrupts your audience, creates discontent to motivate them into action, and finally inoculates them from your competitors' overall ethos and messaging. Now, not everyone will buy into your haunting messaging, but nobody will ever forget it. And whenever they hear the comfort-driven message of content from your rivals, they will think of you. And deep down, somewhere inside, they will know they are just fooling themselves. Let's look at obsess. We've engaged, compelled, and haunted. Now let's add the final touch. Obsess your audience. What do I mean? To obsess is to develop a relationship with your audience that is like a book, a movie, or a story that you cannot forget and you want to go back to. Either again and again through different stories in the same world, or to revisit the same book, the same movie, again and again, to experience it from a place of insider knowledge. When you bring your audience back time and time and time again, when they never get tired and always want to be there with you, always want to be in your bubble, now you are obsessing them. There are naysayers, of course, who would take a real pleasure in suggesting that doesn't happen. I watched X for 2 series, lost interest. They are destined to replicate in their own audiences the attitude with which they approach others' media. If you do not know what it is like to be obsessed with the media of another, you will find it practically impossible to replicate for your own media. However, if you have experienced obsession with a fantasy world, a series of crime fiction, a comedian, or just one simple story, you can take the essence of that obsession and weave it into threads for your own audience to follow. An example, have you ever listened to The Archers, a UK BBC daily radio programme, remember radio? Piloted way back on the 29th of May 1950, and it's still going strong. Now, my dad never missed an episode, or if he had to, thanks to his shifts driving buses, he would listen to the weekly omnibus, if you'll excuse the pun. So emotionally engaged with the characters and storyline, he was obsessed with the next episode. The Archers were never far away from his bubble. The impact reaches down the generations. If The Archers is on when I'm driving around, I'll listen. It takes me back to my childhood. That's Haunt. It also obsesses me to stay listening. How is Shula? How is Grey Gables? I feel I know them personally. An earworm is yet another example. Earworms, another example of obsess.
Ja, earworms are like the funny of music. Then was is bequeathed by the joys of the orals, ja.
Well, that's one description. Thanks, Guru. Music earworms are, dare I say, snatches of music that never really leave you. Again, you are emotionally invested. A note or two that instantly transports you back to the experience from whence it came, plus it puts a smile on your lips, a dance into your toes, an experience that stays with you. It obsesses you in a pleasurable sort of way. It's in your bubble because you want it to be there. Just as you want your clients to want you to be in their bubble, in their heads.
There's a rumour that I'm always getting into my clients' heads through their eye sockets. Never been proven, mind. Never been proven.
Another image guaranteed to haunt and obsess. Let's wrap this up. There is so much more to explore in terms of audience engagement, keeping them compelled, haunting them, and keeping them coming back with an obsessive need for more. In these 2 episodes, we've explored the need for these. Engage, get their attention and hold it. Compel, keep them with you mystery, intrigue. What next? Haunt. Create emotional engagement, something they cannot forget. And obsess. Keep them coming back again and again and again. Inoculate them from the messaging of others. Today's episode, Haunt and Obsess, is sponsored by Q Tickles, of Red Booton's premier nail bar for those residents who... Oh, for heaven's sake. News just in. Ges Ray, your very own mayor of Red Booton, has won the prestigious Red Booton Sustainable Business Award for devising an extraction process that ensures a never-ending requirement for replacement nails here in Red Booton. I'd rather keep my own, thank you very much. So I'll sign off this episode with effusive congratulations to Des. Well done, Des, on such an amazing award. And if you got any sense, if you wish to retain your extensions, you'll do the same. Until next time.